I wish I had my kazoo to do this whole intro part, but fuck it. Here comes Daddopher. He's a father of mine. He's a father and he's gonna be questing for someone. It's me. Go Daddopher, or Kirbodad, or just Victor, go. Go Daddopher, or Kirbodad, on this Kirblog, go. Please tell me you recognize that.
Oh, I did, certainly, but we should have had a kazoo. Would have been a lot.
Just that opening couple seconds. Welcome, everybody, to, if I'm not mistaken, what will be the last Kirblog of 2016. Pokecember is behind us. I am currently home for the holidays. We were recording this on Christmas Eve, like, virtually within the hour before we have company coming over. I'm joined by Daddopher / Kirbodad / my dad / honey.
Who's been cooking since 5:30 this morning?
Yeah, you're running on less than fumes. You've been just like nonstop doing Christmas shit for the last like 13 hours, but you know that's nothing new for you as far as I'm
I've been doing
concerned.
Christmas shit for the last 13 months.
Well, since the last time you were on, which was 12 months ago, so that means that you've been doing Christmas shit since November 2015.
Yes, and I'm sure that my fans have missed me, and you know I'm very, very humble, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm back, and I have no idea what we're going to be talking about this evening, but
no, you do. You just don't know the content of what we're going to be talking about this evening. Okay. This is going to be a litmus test. This is going to be some kind. Stop moving the microphone that I've rested on top of one of my presents I'm opening tomorrow, for God's sake.
That I'm hoping is a check inside.
Shh, don't tell them about that. So we're going to talk about anime today, so I'm sure this will go well. Last year we talked about Pokemon, and then we talked about video games, both of which were easier. So this is going to be more of a challenge for you, I think, this time.
Yes, after the first of the year, we're going to talk about Uncle May, who was a cross-dresser, but a very, very nice guy.
Okay, well, they go hand in hand. Tell me about...
Oh, that's a pun.
Well, okay, you're going to knock this fucking microphone over. This is going to be technical disaster, and we're 2 minutes into this. So, probably like most people your age, if you don't mind me saying so, I'm sure you probably grew up with plenty of anime and didn't realize that it was identified as anime, or that it was even from another country.
Mighty Mouse was not anime.
No, Mighty Mouse was not. But... You grew up. Well, first of all, tell me you know the show that I was doing the intro song of. For God's sake, everybody, Mom would know that. Speed Racer.
Yes, I know that.
Okay. Yeah, you did. That's why you did that.
I grew up with Speed Racer.
Did you grow up with Gigantor?
I probably grew up with it, but didn't watch it.
Okay. So, what do you remember as the first show that later you had found out was from Japan? Do you have any idea?
It's howdy doody time.
Yeah, that's the one.
He makes your ghoulie shine.
Yeah, that was totally from Japan. That was the one where they asked for money. You got it.
Probably Soupy Sales. No, wasn't him.
This is going really well
Jackie
so far.
Jackie Gleason show.
So the answer is no then. None.
No, I don't remember anything. Actually we did. We had Speed Racer I think was a Japanese.
Yes, it was.
Cartoon.
That was an anime.
But we had a cartoon, and I've talked to you about this a couple of times, and you don't remember it, but they had like a still face on the screen, and the lips moved. They were a real person's lips. Mm-hmm. It was like the most bizarre cartoon that you could ever watch, because they were always like in the wrong place on the face. Mm-hmm. I'm going to find it. I'm going to Google it, and I'm going to find it. I couldn't even tell you the name of the show. Mm-hmm. But I think
that's just an animation technique. You have got to stop moving this microphone around, please. Seriously, I know it's driving your OCD nuts, but
okay.
Well, actually, I don't think I've ever talked about this on the show before. I did an anime themed month earlier this year. There was Anime April, because I'm so clever like that. Martin likes to pick on me for all my month pun names. So back in the day, we had like every Thomas the Tank Engine VHS. I'm getting to a point with this. Bear with me. But on I forget if it was either PBS Kids or Nick Jr. One of the like preschool channels where Thomas was also being played.
You're going to the train party?
Yeah, that's the one. There was a show. It was technically the first anime I ever saw, and I don't know if you even remember this. It was a show called The Little Bits. Does that sound remotely familiar?
No.
It was a show that was on one of those preschool channels, nestled between like Barney and Thomas and Blue's Clues and all that shit.
Between Barney and something else, I was usually convulsing.
Yeah, probably.
So I missed it.
But apparently it was a show that was a Japanese series, and it was dubbed in English, and it was one of the first shows that I'd ever seen. And I like probably most kids, I didn't know that it was an anime.
Can I tell you something about Barney?
No. That's the end of that subject. But
No, but it was very, very cool.
what about how much I hated Barney as a kid?
Well, everybody hated Barney.
Even the preschoolers hated Barney.
I'm a car dealer by trade, and back then we had this purple Ford Escort. It was the same color as Barney, and everybody hated Barney. Everybody wanted to beat up Barney, but it was big. It was huge. So I took one of my jobbers, and I had him make the green dots that Barney had on his body.
Oh my God.
And I took a car in the showroom, and I took this car. We couldn't get rid of it. We couldn't give it away. And I put the green darts on the vehicle, and we sold the car like in 10 minutes.
Because it was a Barney car.
Because it was a Barney car.
That
So
really says
now
something.
I have people coming in, and they're like, "We understand you have a Barney car."
What the?
So I'm buying all the purple cars that the other dealers can't sell, and putting the green dots on them. And I'm selling like a Barney car every day.
That's some Better Call Saul shit. You're insane.
It was great. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Barney's my favorite anime show. I think that the first series I later found out was, this cartoon I'm watching on TV is from Japan, was probably Pokemon. Because that never occurred to me about the fact that like Power Rangers was like the footage of the guys in the suits was from Japan, and they were filming new stuff and kind of cutting that. I think I've told you that before.
Right, yes.
But Pokemon was the first show that we talked like extensively about Pokemon like last
You
year.
mean it's not Pokemon?
No. Good job. You've joined us in the year 2016,
I know,
Dad.
to make you crazy.
Because it's an O.
Well, people will say, "Oh, are you into Pokemon?"
I'm like, yeah, I'm into that one with the A in it. Yeah, you got it. You got it. I guess, did you kind of find out around the same time? Well, I don't know. Did any of this like matter or occur to you like when you were finding out? Oh yeah, some of these cartoons are actually from other countries and they're being dubbed into another language. Or did any of that ever like impact you? Like, did you remember that Pokemon was like from Japan or
Dragon Ball Z
anything?
was the one that I liked, but I don't think that was Japanese.
No, of course it was Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah, are
All
you
right,
kidding me?
Take it
My
easy,
God,
take it easy.
I've told you that for like 20 years of my
But
life.
that was probably my favorite show.
Your favorite show ever.
Ever.
Of all time.
Yeah.
So Dragon Ball was the first one that you
because,
knew was an anime.
Yeah, Pokemon. I used to beat you at Pokemon Stadium all the
Okay.
time.
You gotta just
Let's
bring
not
that
go-
bring that back
Let's
again,
not
don't
go
you?
there again. Gengar. He used to kill you.
Gengar.
Him too.
Doppelganger.
His brother. Who was,
Yeah. But well,
That's
okay.
what I like.
Well, what was your earliest memory of like? I mean, Pokemon we talked about nonstop last year, but when actually Dragon Ball, quite relevantly, a couple weeks after this Kirblog is going to be going up, a new Dragon Ball show called Dragon Ball Super is going to be airing on Toonami, and they're also going to be airing some like director's cut versions
I
of
told
old
you,
episodes.
I have a manager that works for me in my service department, and he looks like Piccolo.
You want to tell that story?
No, I don't want to tell the whole story, but he scares the crap out of the customers. They come in, it's like, "What's with this guy?" And I go, "Kame!"
Yeah, well, Piccolo doesn't do the Kamehameha,
No,
by the way.
but he doesn't do that. But
Well, do you remember like when I had first gotten into that show? Like, cause it just kind of like it came up and everybody was suddenly into it. But like, do you remember at all like some of the early days of like when I was buying a lot of
I
it?
only remember when you went to the Barbie and Ken dolls.
Yeah, well, well, that'll be next year's discussion.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I mean, see, we collected a lot of stuff. We collected a lot of toys and games and stuff. We collected a lot of videos. Like back when VHS was more commonly a thing. And I feel like every other weekend we were together, we would take a trip to like Sam Goody or FYE or whatever. And this is back when they used to. They
it was
don't
on
do
a quest.
well.
Whatever was the newest, we had.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, we had. We went out. We found it. If we had to drive, I don't know how many towns away to get it, because
We
everyone
didn't
else.
go that far.
Everyone else was sold. We used to go all the way out to that place by Dave and Buster's. Several exits. So
That was when we were looking for really obscure stuff, I think. But like, if it was like a video, we'd just go to like the mall
you
or
were looking
whatever.
for what came out the day before. Everyone
Well-
else was sold out. We never ever waited in line for anything.
Well, a lot of what was going on, and see,
Just to pay off the cashier behind the register and
yeah.
buy someone else's game that had paid a deposit in advance, and I would give him more money, and we'd go home with the game that weekend.
Well, often what was going on was, and they don't, companies don't often do this anymore because I think that if it's going to be on TV, they want you to watch it on TV first. But Dragon Ball, they would put out episodes on home release before they would air on TV for a while, which now is unheard of. But we would go, and I remember, I had a whole separate video I did a long time ago about the story of like we went to a Target one day, and this would have been like, I think like maybe like 97 or 98, and there was a break. They aired like 2 seasons worth of Dragon Ball Z on TV, like over and over, back and forth, the same like 60 whatever episodes, like in repeat on Cartoon Network all the time, and WB and all that.
I wasn't aware of that.
And then we went to a Target one day, and I walk in, there's this videotape, and it's Piccolo and Frieza fighting each other, and I'm like, what? I didn't know that happened, so I picked this up, and suddenly I realized this whole world opened up to me where all these episodes were coming out on VHS, and we could just go there and get a bunch of them.
Where was that place that we went and we bought a whole bunch of stuff?
Sam Goody, when that was a thing that existed, we used to go to a lot.
Goody, Comic Kingdom or Kingdom.
Oh, Collector's Kingdom. That was where they had the bootleg, like subbed VHSs.
Oh,
they would
okay.
yeah, it was because my you remember Jason?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason would go. He was the master that knew everything that was going to happen already because he was watching the Japanese episodes with these crappy subs on like really really gross VHS, like just like really artifacted
Really
footage.
grainy,
Yeah.
right.
And he would rent them from this place every other weekend. And it was in Long Island. I forget where it was, but
It was in Huntington.
Was it Huntington?
Yeah, it was Huntington.
It's
still there.
is it still there?
Yeah,
oh my
Collector's
God,
Kingdom.
surprised. They had a really crappy TV commercial as well that they actually shot, which was hilarious.
But you remember, if we went in, it was like floor to ceiling. They had VHS tapes
and figures and a lot of
it was
cards
crazy,
and stuff. Yeah,
it's great. And all the guys behind the counter, they all looked like Chewbacca. Everybody was very weird. It was like the cantina in Star Wars. But we came home with a lot of great shit from there.
Well, those we would. No, you can say shit. It's fine. Say shit all you want. It was shit we were buying. It was bootleg.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
No,
Really? I mean, you could go right here if you want. I don't mind. No one's gonna see it.
You're not recording this, are you?
Yeah, of course we are.
This
is gonna go up on the internet tomorrow.
You're
Well, not
talking
tomorrow.
about doo-doo?
I've
Ridiculous.
talked about far worse. Well, I mean, I guess the fact that you remembered Piccolo enough to make this crack at this coworker of yours.
Well, knowing that Christopher knows,
not
first person, some of the voice actors from.
Not all of them.
But
a select few.
Yeah, some of them.
Select few of them are good friends.
I'm
and I love them
I'm
dearly.
having a meeting, and we're all in a room. And
now you're telling the story.
And there's one manager like sticks his head like around the side and just up to like the bottom of his chin. And I said to him, "What are you doing? You look like Piccolo." Now, most of the people that work for me are much younger than me, and they said like, "What do you know from Piccolo?" And one of the people I work with follows Christopher, and he said, "What do you mean? His son knows most of the characters, actors from there." And it was very funny because I'm going to be 65 years old.
I'm just surprised that your like staff knows what the fuck Dragon Ball is. I wouldn't imagine
most of
they
my
even.
People are in their
Okay,
mid-20s.
yeah, fair enough.
Early 30s,
Fair enough.
And,
So then they all would all been watching it like I was.
They all have children now, and they're watching it.
Okay.
I guess the new ones.
Yeah. Well, because Dragon Ball Kai was just DBZ director's cut, and that was on Nicktoons for a little while, and now it's on Cartoon Network. So it's still relevant always. It's funny, a lot of people, my friend Steve makes often jokes about people being like, "Oh, Dragon Ball was my childhood," and we're just like, Dragon Ball is our adulthood. It's still fucking going, God's sake. But yeah, I mean, well, do you remember? I mean, because extensively I was watching it in the house, and then there was original Dragon Ball was on Cartoon Network, and we were watching that a lot. I mean, do you remember anything in particular about the show itself, or just me watching it in the background, you being like, "What is happening? Why is everybody yelling so much?"
I don't remember, any specific, episode. I mean, I remember some of the battles. I remember someone like dying off.
Well, that's Dragon Ball in a nutshell. Is people dying off. Almost everybody has died in that show at least once, but I
remember Goku.
Yeah.
Right? He was the short little guy.
Well, he goes from short little guy to being adult little guy with a wife and kids after
Right.
a while.
Okay. So I remember him.
Remember Piccolo?
I remember Piccolo.
Piccolo's the green guy.
Yeah, I remember the old Asian guy with the long mustache.
Oh, Master Roshi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Vegeta?
Who?
Vegeta?
Vagina?
Oh, the comments are gonna kill you for that one. Remember Vegeta?
Vegeta.
Krillin. You remember Krillin was the bald guy?
Yeah. Well, they were all bald. Piccolo was bald.
Well, Piccolo was an alien. Like, but half the characters in Dragon Ball couldn't be bald because they had like massive hair that were like 5 feet tall or whatever.
Mighty Mouse was so much simpler. And Courageous Cat was pretty cool.
Quickie Koala.
Courageous Cat and
Good.
Minutemen.
Okay. Well, actually, I mean, can you do not Kamehameha, but the punching a billion times at a billion miles per hour noise that you would torture me with in the background all the time, and I'm like, that's not what they sound like. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All the time you would do that, and then I was like, they don't sound like that. And then there was an episode where literally a character did that, and I was like, God damn it, Dad! I hate when you're right about everything.
My most favorite game
was the Dragon Ball game.
No.
Well, then what are you talking about? We're not talking about video games.
Starfire.
Great. We're not talking about video games. We did that a year ago. It's old news.
All right.
Good.
But I really like Star Fox.
Congratulations. There was a new Star Fox game that came out, and I played it without you. And they got all the actors back and everything.
You're such a cheat.
Yeah, well. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what... Well, do you remember the names of any other shows that I was into at the time? If I listed off a few, would they jog your memory at all?
Pokemon, of course.
Yu Yu Hakusho was the one I was big into for a long time.
We got all the videos and the books.
I remember for Yu Yu Hakusho, there was a funny day where, though I think there were some videos of that coming out before it was on Cartoon Network, and you bought me one. And the main character's name was Yusuke, and his name was spelt Yusuke. So you got me this video, and they were like, hey, this one's got Yusuke in it.
Yeah, Yusuke. Yeah, I remember that.
And Power Rangers from way back, there was a character in Yu Yu Hakusho that I swear to God you were absolutely convinced had the voice of Lord Zed. There was this character, Kuwabara,
right? Yeah.
And you were absolutely convinced because you're like, hey, you're a Messi, which Steve and I and Mike and I do impressions of all the time. Then later I was like, no, two different guys, two different areas entirely.
Well, Power Rangers I liked. I mean, we had a lot of fun with Power Rangers. Remember all the stuff we made with Power Rangers?
I mean, while that wasn't technically anime, that was a Japanese show first and foremost. So all the robots and all the suits and all the monsters and everything were.
That was like Godzilla.
What do you mean?
It was like the old Godzilla movies. It was like so bad you had to watch the whole thing.
Well, it's funny. I don't know if I've told you this. I probably have at some point before. So
what? The putty. Remember the putty?
Yeah,
guy?
Of course. Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, what we
stupid.
got as Power Rangers was, so there was a show. There was a long run since like the '60s or something, maybe earlier. There's a show in Japan called Super Sentai, and Saban at the time, and then they have it again. They would take the Japanese footage of them in the suits and the big robots and the monsters and everything, and they would splice it in, and they would film new footage of American actors
and make toys.
Well, I mean, the toys were always there, but they would make a new show, and they would have all like the American kids or whatever, and make it fool kids into thinking, oh, this is a whole new thing or whatever, and really it was just this show from Japan, and we had no idea later. And then it was funny because then later, I watched the Japanese show that Power Rangers, the one that we watched, was based on, and I was like, oh wow, this is infinitely better. Like there's an actual story going on, and it's not just like the same inane bullshit happening. Well, there was a lot of the same.
I wonder how good Thomas the Tank Engine would have been if it was anime.
There is a Japanese. You know, actually, the Japanese dub of Thomas. You know how on our version there's like just George Carlin or Ringo Starr or whatever was narrating it.
Yep.
In the Japanese version, they actually give different actors to all the individual trains. There's still a narrator. But whenever Thomas would say something, Japanese actors, yeah. So their dub, actually, when we got the movie way later, and all the trains had their own individual actors and all that shit, Japan was doing that for years. Really? So they had different individual people for all the characters.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so, is it interesting?
Yeah, no, that is very interesting.
I'm just fishing for answers.
It's better than Alec Baldwin.
Well, he only did it for a hot minute, and then he was out.
Sucked.
So, let's see, what else? Inuyasha was another long, ongoing one that I was into for a while. That was kind of when I was on the cusp of puberty and understanding what the hell anything was.
Yu Yu Hakusho, what was his name?
No, that now you see, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Inuyasha were ones you were crossing together because of how many
Right,
U's in it they had.
What was the one that had the thing you put the cards on your arm?
That was Yu-Gi-Oh. Martin, my friend from England who you've met.
Well, we still have a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere. No, actually, I might have taken those with me. I might have.
No, they're in
But that was the card game one. That was the one that Martin makes his living off of doing a parody of, more or less.
Still?
Yeah, more or less.
That's good.
And other stuff, too.
That's good.
Shout out to you, Martin. Love you. Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas, Martin.
And Mariana.
And Mariana.
Lovely wife. They've been here to visit before. Inuyasha was the one with the guy with the really long silver hair and the red outfit, and he was a jerk all the time.
I don't remember.
No, I had a lot of. Here's what you do remember. There was that was a show on Adult Swim for a while. I was watching a video of some DVD of it with like 3 episodes of pop, and they cost like $30 each. It was bullshit. And there was an episode you walked in on, and there was some character that looked like they were nude, and they were like attacking him or whatever. And you walked in, you're just like, "Are you watching like anime porn or what?" And I'm just like, "No, it's not." Oh god, it was super embarrassing.
Worse than tadpole porn.
Thank you for that. Classic Roger. What else? My God, I'm trying to think if there were any other ones in particular that you had seen in the background at all. Well, you actually so you actually kind of flashing forward to now. You caught an episode of Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans.
Yes, I did.
That I happened to be in.
Yes, I did.
Now, did you watch the whole episode of that, or did you just watch my scenes?
No, we're going to do that tomorrow morning after we open.
Let's not. Let's watch Dawn of Rebellion instead.
Yeah, all right. Well,
but
we'll open our presents, have some coffee, and watch whatever you want to watch.
Yeah. I'm showing him Mob Psycho 100 shortly after this because he's gonna see the amazingness that is Reagan, also known as me jumping around on walls back and forth doing Jim Carrey impressions, more or less. Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't think we talked about this in the Pokemon one we did last year, but do you remember when you and Sue were getting up and watching my episodes when they aired on Cartoon Network at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything stand out about that?
No.
No? This entire Kirblog is like, "Hey, Dad, do you remember anything about this?" No, I don't remember shit.
No, it was Sunday morning.
Saturday morning.
That too. And I was usually just drinking my coffee and listening to your voice and mesmerized that you're still working and not calling for money.
I don't do that.
I know you.
Everybody. I've survived on my own. I've been out of your hair for 2.5 years, thank Christ.
You were never in my hair, but it's nice to see you supporting.
Well, now I'm in your hair. I'm touching it. Did you
Yes.
put mousse in your hair?
I don't put anything in my hair.
Oh. It's just naturally sticky then. Good. Stop playing with the deposit, for Christ's sake.
Okay, I have to go cook.
Okay.
I gotta get.
That was the shortest thing ever. So in conclusion, Dad doesn't remember anything about anime ever.
I'm a child of the '60s. I'm lucky I remember my name.
What's your name?
Rotkiv Isowin.
Is that a reference to something?
Rotkiv Isowin?
Oh.
It's Victor Niosi backwards.
Oh, that's your nobody.
Yeah.
That's your.
And my brother Phil is Plip Isowin.
And I'm Search.
And my uncle Frank is Knopf Isowin.
Can I be Search? Cirque.
Yes.
Cirque, I think Cirque. Yeah,
Isoin.
Circusoin.
Yeah.
Isoin? Is that how you do
Isoin.
Niosi backwards?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Actually, it should be Isowin.
Okay.
Because the I is enunciated.
That's true.
as a-
Isoin.
Yeah.
Isoin. Anyway,
I'm going to jump out. I have to go finish cooking. We have our rest of the family is coming, and I'm going to have to feed everyone.
Great. Well, I guess now that we've wasted 20 minutes not remembering anything, you got any final words to put out there for everybody?
It's been fun. I know that my fans have missed me, and soon Christopher will put me in one of his videos. And maybe EXE will come back.
He is back. He's voiced by another guy now. He's voiced by an actual actor.
Well, maybe that guy will get laryngitis, and you'll have to have.
You hear that, John? My dad wants you to get a laryngitis. He'll be out of work. He's never going to hear this.
And maybe I'll give you $1,000, and you'll say John O.
Shh. That's later. All right. Well, I guess
All right,
this
guys,
is
everyone have a happy holiday and a happy New Year. And my boy is going to be 28.
8. God Almighty.
On New Year's Eve.
28 years too many.
28 years. Oh my goodness.
I think actually on my birthday I'm going to be doing a stream where I'm going to be taking commissions from people and be like, "Give me money and I'll draw you dumb bullshit."
There you go.
And hopefully,
There you go.
we'll see. But I guess hey, in the comments below, if I come back next year for the holidays, which I don't know yet, but we'll find out. what would you like Dad and I to talk about that will, be able to fill more time with and actually have stories about, since we just talked about nothing for 20 minutes?
Well, I wasn't prepared.
No, well, you also wouldn't have been prepared anyway because you wouldn't have known what to say about any of the shit that you don't remember. But nonetheless, thanks for coming back.
Okay.
And we're gonna do Christmas.
Good night, guys.
now.
Again, happy holiday, happy New Year,
And
we'll talk to you next year.
you know what? Actually, it's funny. In January, kind of going off the last end of the topic, there's gonna be like 4 anime movies in theaters, and I'm gonna go see them all. That rarely ever happens with America, and I'm gonna go do that. So I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about with that. So I'll have plenty of inane anime shit to be talking about for hours. Look forward to plenty of that. And look forward to maybe Daddopher in another year from now. But here's your little sample of that for 25 minutes. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you all had a lovely holiday season. I think Hanukkah's like just starting now for
Tonight.
yeah.
Christmas,
So
same time.
going all the way up until the end of the year. So I hope you all had a lovely 2016. I'll have a couple more things to do before the year's up. A couple streams left.
Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel.
Thank you.
Isn't that from South Park?
Yeah, that's from South Park and
Okay.
not from life. You got it.
Okay.
Anyway, good night, everybody. We love you. Goodbye.